They were the biggest land animals to ever walk the earth. Massive enough to crush cars under their feet, longer than buses, and heavier than a whole squad of elephants. And no, we're not talking about the usual suspects, not the titanosaurs or the colossal sauropods. Those are expected. Their size is legendary. But what if I told you the largest non-sauropod dinosaur was something else entirely? A creature so gigantic and unexpected, even some scientists didn't believe it at first. Welcome to Prehistoric Medievals, and if you're into uncovering ancient giants like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the untold stories of Earth's most legendary beasts. Now picture this: late Cretaceous period, China. A team of paleontologists stumbles upon 5 incomplete but monstrous skeletons buried deep in the layers of the Shandong Peninsula. The bones were scattered and shattered, but one thing was crystal clear: they had uncovered something absolutely massive. So massive, in fact, that for a while they believed they were looking at a young sauropod. But when they pieced it together, the shape didn't match. This wasn't a long-necked, slow-moving plant eater. This was something different, a hadrosaur. Yes, a duck-billed dinosaur. And not just any hadrosaur, this was Shantungosaurus. Originally described in 1973, Shantungosaurus would go on to completely upend what we thought we knew about dinosaur sizes. It wasn't some minor cousin of Edmontosaurus, it was a monster in its own right. Even the smallest known specimens had thigh bones that rivaled those of elephants, and the larger individuals, some of them stretched up to 17 meters in length and weighed over 16 tons. That's heavier than a fully grown T-Rex, and longer too. Even conservative estimates placed it far above any known predator in sheer size. You'd need to line up 7 cars just to match its body length. And in weight, try 260 average-sized humans. Let that sink in. And yet, hardly anyone talks about it. Maybe because it wasn't a ferocious carnivore. Maybe because it didn't have teeth, like swords, or claws like hooks. But if size is power, then this quiet herbivore may have been the most untouchable beast in its environment. In fact, it may have even overshadowed some titanosaurs in mass, and those were the kings of their era. This makes Shantungosaurus the largest non-sauropod dinosaur ever discovered. And unlike the lumbering giants we usually associate with such stats, this one could walk on 2 legs. Yes, a true biped. Which also makes it the largest bipedal land animal to have ever lived. And the crazy part? This wasn't a one-off. Paleontologists have uncovered over 50 specimens of Shantungosaurus so far, possibly more than 100. That means this size wasn't an anomaly. It was the norm. They didn't just get lucky with one big fossil, they found a population of giants. And that brings up a massive question: why? Why was this one hadrosaur so big when its cousins across the world stayed much smaller? Some scientists think it was all about survival. In a world full of predators, being massive meant being safe. The only large carnivore known to live alongside Shantungosaurus was a tyrannosaur called Jucheng a powerful name, sure, but in comparison, it was tiny. While Shantungosaurus could reach 16 to 18 tons, the biggest Jucheng was barely 5. That's like a lion trying to take down a tank. It might go for the young or sick, but a healthy adult Shantungosaurus? That would be suicide, especially since this gentle giant wasn't exactly defenseless. You see, hadrosaurs weren't just big, they were built tough. Shantungosaurus had incredibly dense bones and thick limbs that could have easily delivered a devastating kick. One solid strike from its hind leg, and any predator in the wrong place would have been sent flying. And that tail? It was a monster of its own. Longer than 2 full-size cars, thick with fused tendons, and stiff like a club. Some researchers believe it could have swung that thing side to side, cracking bones if it connected. Standing beside it was dangerous, but standing behind it? Even worse. And don't forget, it didn't walk alone. Shantungosaurus lived in large herds, so if one didn't get you 50, might. And what's even more fascinating is how smartly it may have communicated. Its skull had large openings near the nostrils, which paleontologists think supported inflatable skin flaps. Imagine dozens of these giants honking across the floodplains, warning each other of danger, moving together like a living wall. Their mouths were packed with thousands of tiny teeth, over 1,500, constantly replacing and arranged in tight dental batteries. They could chew through tough plants all day long. With massive beaks designed to slice through vegetation, they didn't just eat, they reshaped their entire ecosystem. Just like today's elephants can wipe out whole forests, Shantungosaurus and its herds likely carved paths through ancient China's lush landscapes, changing everything in their wake. But for all their might, even these giants couldn't escape extinction. Shantungosaurus ruled for millions of years, over 10 million by some estimates, but eventually disappeared from the fossil record. Why? No one's completely sure. Some theories say the land itself changed, the lush floodplains dried out or were disrupted by volcanic eruptions. There's even evidence of ash layers in the same rock formations. Others think it was simply evolution. Maybe Shantungosaurus didn't vanish, maybe it just changed, evolved into another, smaller hadrosaur that we haven't fully connected yet. One thing's for sure, nothing has ever quite taken its place. So next time someone says the biggest land animals were all long-necked sauropods, tell them about Shantungosaurus, the bipedal behemoth, the herbivorous tank, the silent ruler of ancient Asia. And remember, if you love diving into these lost worlds, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Prehistoric Medievals because we bring back giants.